for the year, and Nara Ken in Taman Tun, Dr. Ismail in Kuala Lumpur. And we're fortunate enough to be joined by Yvonne Tan. She's off camera right now. The Deputy Director of Community Affairs at KEN Holdings Berhad. Today, and we're also coming live to you from this lovely office co-working space in Menara Ken. So, Yvonne, thank you for joining us.
Hi, thanks,
Yvonne, tell us, before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at the KEN Group.
Okay, so I handle the leasing of the building as well as our land space, rentals, and recently, of course, the co-working space is now under my arms as well.
Okay, great.
So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Keeps you busy. I mean, I think we've got a gorgeous view of what I'm looking at now. Half of KL from your building. It's a wonderful spot here. But what is unique about your building here at Menara Ken?
So our building is a multiple award-winning building. We are green rated as well, certified by Nordin, Singapore BC Green Mark, and also Green Leaf, as the Malaysian Green Leaf. So we're all platinum rated. It's a green building, unlike any other. If any of your viewers had a chance to visit, they will realize that it's very different from the conventional office. So usually normal offices you would come in during the day and at nighttime it's very quiet at the lobby area. Whereas for our building, we try to make it different. We want the building to be alive throughout the day. So therefore, our ground floor we have our performing art theatre. So if after the day crowd is gone, the office crowd is gone, then nighttime, when there are shows, the building will still be alive. There is movement around the building, so anyone who even wants to come back to work at night, they will feel safe to do so because there is always life happening around.
Okay, so those guys who are burning the midnight oil can do it safely here in your venue, which is awesome. Of course, I'm going to get into the other spaces later because I think there's some gorgeous. I just love your idea of big windows. I mean, for me, I'm not an architect, but I love space and I love that luxury of space now, and that luxury of view is often lost in downtown. Now, what makes this a green building? How have you made it a green building? What have you done to make this space viably green? But also, a lot of companies are now shifting, especially after we saw with COP 20, 23, 26. I can't remember how many COPs we've had. A lot of people are looking for green space. So how have you done it?
Okay, I guess the term being green is very broad, but the most basic, of course, you have plenty of natural light. Also, if you look at the center of our building, it's a giant void. The natural light just penetrates through. So even the atrium of it, like from one office to the other end, you can see through and through, and it's just bright light. Like you don't need much light. Even in the office space we're in now, you don't need much artificial light. It's mainly natural light. So that's one of it. There are many technical aspects as well. There is also the direction the building is facing. So you don't get too much direct sunlight. It's more indirect because of the direction of the
orientation of the building.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
So that's the building orientation, and then we've also got rainwater harvesting as well in the building.
Okay.
So we've got a huge tank up top, so that is used for our landscape irrigation.
Okay.
Yeah. So then also our facade glass. It's also there's a mirror finish, but not too how do I say it's not too dark,
Yeah.
dark tinted. You can still
Yeah,
see
exactly.
through, but from the outside you can't really see in.
Okay.
But on the inside you can
You
see.
see
It's
out.
like it doesn't look like it's tinted.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
No, you're definitely in the environment.
Yes.
You know, that's
Yeah.
kind of the feeling I get. You know?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Now, I wanted to ask you more about some of the facilities for business here, and then also for community. One thing that you mentioned earlier is before, people just, this is a building, go to work, go home.
Mm.
How do you incorporate the community into your space?
Okay. So, firstly, of course, we do have a gym on the rooftop. So
Mhm.
that's where people who live around the area, we can just use the gym, and there's also like F&B outlets in our building. So recently also we've just signed on a tenant to take on the whole ground floor.
Okay,
So
what tenant are you allowed to tell me, or are we gonna like wait for the media to make the
maybe
announcement?
we wait for them to like
Okay.
officially announce that.
Okay.
But yeah, we've
Is it
signed
yummy? Is it good food?
It is.
Okay, I'm happy.
They're quite popular in Changkat. So
Okay.
if you frequent Changkat, you would definitely know
Okay,
them.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Good.
So that's just one way we try to also make it different, different offerings to the community.
Mhm.
So we did get like many offers for the ground floor space. So we try to curate the tenants that come into the building, just so we are not like any other shopping mall. Because
Mhm.
if you go to any shopping mall, you will find the same F&B brands everywhere.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we didn't want that. We wanted something that would also fit in the building as well. So provide offerings to the tenants, to the residents, so we would have like all day dining, from
Mhm.
morning till late at night. It serves the theatre crowd, and if anyone's having events in the building, they can also go down for a drink, or also go to them for catering.
Okay, nice, exciting. I know we've got some footage of some of the. Do we have it with us? We'll try and play it in a short while to look at some of the facilities that we've got. Now, one of the things that I also wanted to talk to you about was the event spaces. Most office buildings won't think to put a theater in place. You've got a theater, you've got a gallery, you've got what else do you have? I mean, you've got a permanent gallery and you've got a space available.
Yes.
What was the thinking behind a permanent gallery? What is there, and what were you thinking? Or was it someone else thinking? What were they thinking?
So that would be my chairman's thinking. So basically, from the get go, I guess there's always a thought of him wanting to share his collection with the public, because he loves collecting art.
Hmm.
And usually, art collectors, they would only enjoy the art pieces at home if you have sufficient wall space,
Yeah.
of course. If you don't, it's just kept stacked together in the storage somewhere.
Mhm.
No one sees it.
Mhm.
Once in a while, maybe you'll have a look at it, and that's about
Still
it.
there, yes, okay.
Yeah. So he wants to share Malaysian artists' artworks, because we do have many talents in Malaysia, which sadly maybe not made known of as much, or if only if you're in the arts industry or the art
Mhm.
scene, you would know of them. But like normal people, like with me, I'm not an arts person, but
Mhm.
I wouldn't know them. So
Yeah.
it's really nice to know of them through this permanent gallery.
Okay, nice.
So
Nice.
it's a mixture of art pieces. You've got mixed media and like charcoal work, oil,
Mhm.
watercolor, a whole variety. So we do switch it up once in a while. So we won't tell you when. So
Okay.
that's the key for you to come back
Come
more
back
often.
again, enjoy it
at
again.
random times.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So this art gallery, this permanent art gallery also kind of drew attention to this international school.
Okay.
So they did approach us and said like, hey, we want to bring our year 3 or year 4 students over
Okay.
for art class.
Okay,
And we
nice.
were like, wow, how many students are we talking?
Yeah.
And they were like, probably about 90 students.
90.
Yeah, so they did
All
it
at
in
once?
like,
Okay.
not all at once,
Yeah.
thankfully, because
Yeah.
that would be too much. So we were a bit worried, you know.
Okay.
They got help from teachers, from parents to be chaperones.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Yeah, so they had like one parent or teacher to like 3 or 4 students. So they
Okay.
like have to look after these groups of students.
Little clusters of children.
Yeah,
Lovely.
yeah. So the teachers were amazing. I mean, they planned a class around it. So
Mhm.
they had like where's Waldo?
Yeah,
how you
yeah.
have to like search for it. So they did it something like that. So they were all given like sheets of paper and like, okay, try to find this painting. So
Mhm.
they only took like one portion of the painting, try to find it,
Okay.
write the name and the artist.
Oh,
So
nice.
it got them to go around
You
and
could
actually
have see the
look at
whole
all.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I visited. I've had a look at that. It's a gorgeous space, well curated as well, and more importantly, it captures an important piece of Malaysian art history. Which I think is important for especially those international school children who come to Malaysia.
Yeah.
Of course, there's the physical reality of what goes on around Malaysia, but there's what an artist captures is something very different in many cases. So it's wonderful to see. Now, we are in this gorgeous space upstairs on the 11th floor. It's your new venture, your co-working space. I think is the
Yes,
right
co-working
term.
space.
I always keep saying service office, but it's not the right term, right? Yeah. So one, it looks great, and it's in a wonderful location, and there's plenty of comfortable seats, as you can tell. I'm the big fan of sitting on a comfortable seat with a laptop.
Yeah.
Now, COVID-19 has changed so much around the way we work. What what does this co-working space offer to those people, especially in the kind of KLPJ area, who now realize, yes, they may be working from home, but you still need an office address, right? You
Yeah.
still need a place to do things. What was your thinking there?
So for co-working office, I think it would suit people who don't require a large office space. Because if you like, let's say you're just a startup, you don't need a huge 1,700 square foot space like
Mhm.
what you get for
Yeah.
shop lots.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Then you would have to do renovation. You have to worry about electricity bills
Mm.
and like any other administrative things like changing your light bulbs, servicing the aircon, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
That kind of adds up,
Yeah, it
for a
does.
small business.
Yeah.
And if if you don't find the right location, then it's going to be hard for customers to come by
Mhm.
to find parking for shop lots.
Yeah.
It's a hassle
It's-
doing it.
I don't think it's hassle. It's another word that starts with H, but I don't think we should use it here today. Yeah. So go
Yeah,
ahead.
so with the co-working office, you can just come in. It's fully furnished and also you have the offerings of
Mhm.
just needing a desk, or if you don't need like a fixed desk, you can just like walk
Mhm.
around this area, this office lounge we're in
Okay.
right now. So you've got internet, air conditioning. It's comfortable. You know?
Okay, great,
Yeah.
great, excellent. No, I really enjoy the space, and it's nicely appointed. And one of the things that I think that I've seen change now with this co-working, or just what COVID has done to the way we work. Uh, yes, you want to have this work from home option, but at the same time, if you're only limited to home, it is a painful experience.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, it's like, okay, I'm just going to go down to the quote unquote office and do something. I need to like write a letter, or I need to. For me, it's my letter to editors. Like, okay, I need a space. Spend 2 hours get the job done, drink some good coffee, maybe two good coffees, and then enjoy getting that work done in a space that is viable. So I think this is one of the things that I like about this space. I mean, it's plenty of space as well.
Yeah.
And I think that is where people start to realize you don't want to be jammed in with a lot of people. You want to be in a comfortable location with a nice cup of coffee. I think I need some coffee. I think this is probably what
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, you could also meet other people from other businesses, and maybe you somehow collaborate together, or
Yeah, exactly.
or get assistance from them. You'll never know. So that's the beauty of co-working office.
Exactly that
Yeah.
collaborative,
Yes, that
happy moments.
like a community in itself.
Exactly. That's why you're in charge of community engagement. That's why you're in charge of community. You've got the arts community, the business community, and then just like general community.
Yes,
It's good. It's good. It's good. Now, when we start moving to get into digging into this problems of business, now we start to realize data is going to be a big issue. Now, your building is I'm just looking out at, is it one of Tama, right? And IKEA is there. Yeah, so you're in a good location in terms of the data backbone. Um, what have you seen in terms of your tenants and what their requirements are for data?
Data. Okay. So I guess for our larger office tenants outside, so we've got Nestle, we've got DTFH, so we've got a global call center called Nordin.
Mm-hmm.
So they um, have their own built-in server as well. So
Mhm.
to them, I would imagine data is their utmost importance.
Mhm.
And they are a global office, so they serve a few regions as well. So we've got lots of expats basically working here,
Okay.
servicing the world.
Yes.
So we provided them with the infrastructure to be able to get stable internet connection, and also power. There's no electricity shortage. Like if there was a blackout,
Mhm.
we would have power backups because we run on a dual source power supply.
Okay.
So it's not a generator.
Okay. What's the difference? Tell me what's a dual source power
So with
supply?
dual source, we take our power supplies from two separate substations,
Okay.
which are in two separate locations.
Okay.
So if like
Why didn't anyone think of this before this? Okay, now I'm learning stuff today. It's
because
wonderful.
I guess the general thing to do is get a generator.
Okay.
But the thing about generators is you don't know whether it works until there's a blackout.
Yeah,
So if touch wood there's a blackout and your generator doesn't work.
that's it, folks. Yeah. Yeah. No, because
Right.
that's my next question I'm coming to is this idea of sustainability. You're talking about green buildings, you're talking about sustainability,
Yeah.
and now you want to get to this point where, look, we thought about these problems because, okay, I've got a, it's like, oh, I've got a windmill on top that's going to generate enough power for you in case of this. You know what I mean? It's like great idea, but is it enough to get me through this thing? So, how important has sustainability become for your customers in terms of getting the physical space right? Because for me, that's where you see a lot of corporations, oh, your carbon footprint, your energy, you're sucking this amount of energy, you're doing that. How important has that become for your, especially your big multinational corporations who are now saying, hey, this is where we're going to set up?
Yeah. So basically, I would say our building, one of the most attractive or rather special, unique thing we have is our air conditioning system.
Mhm.
So for normal offices, they would turn on the air conditioning from 8 to 6. At
Mhm.
6 p.m. it's turned off. You either put in your own air conditioning or you work with fans.
Mm.
So back then when we were designing the building, we thought that that was not really the key factor of a grade A building.
Yeah.
You know, like we went to our lawyer's office in gardens.
Yeah.
So at 6 o'clock, we were halfway having a meeting, and then we see people
Starts.
bringing in fans.
Yeah,
We're
it
like,
starts
what's
sweating.
going on
Yeah.
here? It's supposed to be a grade A office, and we were like, oh no, so sorry, you have to see this.
Yeah.
It's not nice.
It's like a vampire, but a sweat vampire. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I digress.
Yeah, sorry.
So,
It's cool. We like digressing. Maybe we'll digress for coffee, right? Okay.
So with this, they can actually control the air conditioning anytime they want. So
Mhm.
it's based on zones. Like you can see here, this is one unit by itself.
Okay.
So there's another unit there. So if we're just working in this area, you can just turn on this area,
Okay.
and the tenants just have to pay for whatever they use. So what they are charged for their
Usage.
usage. Yes. So
Okay.
it's based on the meter reading. So say the HR department needs to come back last minute, have to do their payrolls. You know,
Yeah.
it's a weekend, it's
Mm.
a public holiday. They have no choice. They just come in, turn on the air conditioning for that area, and do their work.
Okay,
They
it's
come
that
in
simple.
at night as well, past 6 p.m. if there's air conditioning, no issues.
Okay, so
Yeah.
and you have it metered, so you literally know like this is how much it's going to cost you
Yes.
per day, per hour. Happy moments.
Yeah.
Simple management decisions.
Yeah.
As
So
a
it takes it costs more upfront for us to implement all of these because it's quite costly to
Mhm.
do it. But you know we thought that it should be the way for a grade A platinum grade office
Okay.
to be able to provide such flexibility and also convenience to the tenants.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
So
Nice.
with I mean going on sustainability, it's again a very broad topic. You know,
Mhm.
people think sustainability is just about recycling, but it really is not. You know,
Yeah.
it's how you are able to sustain something. You know, without
Mhm.
depleting resources elsewhere.
Okay.
So I mean, like for us, you know, we do have our rainwater harvesting tank.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way we reuse our resources, our natural
And natural like
resources,
that
you know,
literally
without
fall
wasting.
out of the sky.
Yeah, without wasting clean water. You
Okay.
know, like also air conditioning as well. That's one of the things. So because like in normal offices, if say you want air conditioning to be turned on, you can, but you have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to do that, they need to turn on air conditioners for all the other floors, just
Wow.
because you need air conditioning. So that's a lot of
Just
wastage.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's why they, you know, my chairman and MD sort of took inspiration from that.
Okay.
And then that's where they, you know, thought forward and, you know, do something about it. Use
Yeah.
engineering to make this building better.
More sustainable.
Yeah.
I think the key thing is they thought. You know, I mean, they had a
Yeah.
thought in their mind how to fix the problem,
Yeah.
as opposed to like, you know, the 100 buildings that we're looking at now is like, well, we just did it that way, and then at 6 o'clock you're on the fan. Of course, companies got to go and buy all that equipment, right? You know, and it's a waste of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And installing your own air conditioning as well, and then you get like unsightly air compressors
Yeah, exactly. It
outside.
doesn't look
So
good
it
at
didn't.
all.
Yeah. We were
Doesn't
like,
look good.
no,
No.
we don't want that.
Yeah. Yes, that's not what we're looking at. So when you start to look at now the this kind of the near future of business in Malaysia, you know, allegedly, I want to say allegedly, hopefully we're coming out of the pandemic. You know, of course, Omicron is the favorite search something data trend at the moment, but by and large, we're seeing Malaysia returning to a business as normal. What do you see as the kind of recovery timelines and you know things that will happen in the near future, things will happen in the medium term? I don't think anyone can talk long term anymore. You know, long term is for soothsayers and I don't know, really good economists. But yeah, what are you seeing?
I think eventually we'll just, you know, somehow live with the virus. You know, learn to live with it. And with our vaccines rolling out, you know, with the booster shots and things like that. So also with the workforce, I would say that working from home would be something not unusual anymore.
Mhm.
Being able to be mobile when you work and always having good internet connection.
Mhm.
You know, Zoom is like not unusual anymore.
Yeah.
It's you're doing interviews on it, doing meetings on it, just casual meetups through Zoom. You know, that's become sort of like the upcoming trend.
Yeah.
Even with events as well, we do get people who are saying like, hey, we just need a space to be able to um, have our Zoom conference. So they just
Yeah.
want like a nice background space or a blank space
Yeah.
to do your setup.
A wall.
Yeah, and then they'll
Yeah.
just go live and everyone can just log in, just
Mhm.
attend the conference without being there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Even AGMs as well. There's
Yeah.
online AGMs. I mean, we did our AGM via the web, so that was a first for us.
Okay, nice.
So I think that's where we're sort of moving to.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So
Mm.
businesses will kind of adapt to that
Mhm.
eventually,
Mhm.
being able to work remotely.
Nice, nice, nice. Yvonne, I really want to thank you for your time. It's literally flown by today, our discussion. You know,
Thank you so much for having
there's a
me.
lot that we learned about sustainability, a lot
Yeah,
what
but there's so much more to talk about. I can go on, but you know,
it's
there's
okay.
so much time.
Always leave something not leave something unsaid, leave something, keep them wanting more. And I think one of the things that we can do is those who are interested in understanding a bit more can come down to Menara Ken and have a look around and see you. I'll make sure that in the links below we'll get all those details. So Yvonne, thank you very much for joining us,
Thank you
and
so much.
look forward to get you again. So over to this camera, is it? Okay. Now I've got to say something like, thank you very much for joining us on a working lunch with Nordin. We look forward to seeing you again next week on a working lunch. Thank you very much.